Hey guys, Jennifer Don Gabiola, and I hope you've been enjoying my video series so far. Um, for those of you just watching, for the past few months, have been going through my own personal reflection period, going into my shell. I always talk about the turtle way because I had an unexpected kitchen remodel. It's wrapping up now. So I feel inspired to share some insights I've received, some deep, really spiritual lessons I've received over this past few months. So my intention in sharing this is to really help you, as an introverted entrepreneur, to really help you recognize your strengths and leverage your strengths and help you move forward in your life and especially in your business. So I hope that my video series is helping you. The first video I talked about how it's okay to go into your shell, but don't live there. So it's really important to give yourself time to recharge, but don't stay there in your shell and hide because people really need what you have to give. And then the second video I talked about observing, not absorbing. Meaning if you're an introvert and an empath like me, it's really important to have really clear boundaries to help you manage your energy and do what you need to do, in your business. So this one has been on my heart for a while. So it's probably going to be one of my more vulnerable talks. I just feel like it's necessary. Yeah, so I'll be sharing a lot of truth telling in this one because it just feels like it's time. And I'm giving myself permission to talk about this because I feel like it's necessary to be spoken about to help us move forward collectively. So the title for this one is Lies Can Only Comfort You for So Long. Lies can only comfort you for so long. So this one, how do I start with this? So it's really important that as you continue to grow as an entrepreneur, you have to face whatever is holding you back. So I wanted to start off with the importance of giving yourself permission to go into your shell because sometimes we need it to reflect. And in that reflection time, it's really important to actually face the things that are giving us the most resistance and not to hide from it or even like abandon yourself because of whatever you've gone through in the past. So my intention is to share a little bit about my story and what some of the pain that I had to face in order for me to recognize my own power in my life, but especially in my business. I've recognized that the more I can face the pain with a sense of grace, then I become a better leader of my own life, but also a better leader for my clients. So what I encourage you to start with when you are like in your shell is to give yourself permission to face the dark, these darker, more heavier emotions, because like I said, that's actually going to give you, your pain is really the source of your power. So you have to have a lot of courage to actually face the things that are really giving you the most resistance, the things that actually make you want to run away and hide and abandon yourself. So what's really important when you are in this place of self-reflection is to stay super present and not judge yourself for seeing the dark things that maybe you thought you had healed already. But like I had mentioned in my previous videos, this is not about judging yourself. This is about giving yourself permission to go deeper into your healing. Because the deeper you go, you're going to create that deep resonance within yourself and the right people will feel you. So that's why, my work, I take a really deep and holistic approach to business and branding and just, creating a business that as an introverted entrepreneur, that where you feel like you can really own your quiet voice and your fierce power and you make a big impact, but in your own way, and you're not sacrificing your energy. So in order to do that, you have to do a lot of the work. It's not just the strategy, it's really about the mindset and then the deep like inner work. So you get your energy right, because as introverts, your energy is everything. So, all right, so I want to share a little bit about the things that I've personally have been reflecting on, and I'm hoping that in sharing that you can also relate to some of these challenges to help you on your own journey. So there's a lot of things like, okay, I'll start with during my personal journey, I've been thinking about a lot of things that have come into my space that I thought has healed is first one is like a lot of shame around like why why am I not further along? When I had my kitchen when the pipe burst, it felt very chaotic. Like why am I being why are things like behind? Why are things like happening? And that old victim mentality would come up. And I've been working on this for a long, long time. But I feel like with the past few months, having so much on my plate, I was in a way forced to surrender to what is it that can help me actually heal through all this of this resistance. So like a lot of shame came up, a lot of guilt. Why am I not moving far ahead? Why am I not keeping up with my own natural pace, which is very high? There's a lot of old stories around people pleasing. I really, for me, growing up, I really didn't feel like I had a sense of self-worth based on who I was on the inside. So that's where the people pleasing would come up. It was like I needed external validation in order for me to feel whole. So that's why I would overgive and people please. And a big one that it's still a process, but I've overcome a lot of it, is this whole believing that my self-worth is only based on my performance, almost like I'm a robot, So for me, having to really face these beliefs that my purpose is only based on what I do, how I perform, that was really painful, because I really had to take a hard look at myself and go, is that true? Is that true? Is my only sole purpose here on this earth is to perform like a machine, or to achieve all these things and never feel a sense of peace within myself? And I had to, like I said, take a hard look at that. And really, for me, in my inner work, I recognized that why it was so hard for me to really want to let go of all of these things that were holding me back, keeping me small, is because I felt like this was a part of my identity. Me criticizing myself, me shaming myself, me almost punishing myself for not being enough, this sort of not enoughness, like that became like my identity. Because this is the truth, and I hope this resonates with you. What I recognized, like growing up, I always felt like love was like withheld for me. Like, and I did the same thing to myself. It was like, if love and attention was withheld from me, then I had to keep proving my worth, right? So if there was this constant gap of like, well, I'm not enough, there's that belief, and I'm in this cycle of like, well, I have to overachieve, I have to overgive, I have to people please, then I'm supporting this old story of I'm just not enough, and I have to keep this almost like this hamster wheel, like, okay, I have to keep proving myself. I have to keep proving myself. And that, I mean, most of my life I lived that way, is because I was constantly trying to prove to myself, prove to others. But what I realized is really proving to myself that, I had a sense of like self-worth. And so, now I recognize the pattern. And so I feel incredibly grateful that that's what I'm mindfully healing, you know, and to look at that pain of like, oh, okay, instead of me feeling like I have to keep proving and overcompensating that gap of like I'm not worthy to receive like um, love and support, it's like, oh, so God is shifting my spirit to believe that, okay, what the truth is, you are worthy, and it's your responsibility now that you're grown, you're no longer a little girl, that you can give yourself that love. You can encourage yourself now. I no longer have to stay in that old pattern of not enoughness, proving, doubt, criticism, shame, blame. I mean, there's like all these like deep old wounds that have come up that in my quiet time, in my reflection time, I could have run and hid from all of this pain, numb myself out with anything, be on social media or just do it, just distract myself from the truth of what I was hiding from. And like I said, has it been easy? No. Facing all of this, it wasn't just in this past few months that I've, been facing it. This is like a long time. It's just having this whole kitchen remodel situation come up. Actually, there was so much on my plate, it forced me to surrender and let go. And for my case, it was like let go and let God. That really helped me to, this whole situation has helped me to really recognize that it's okay to need help. It's not a form of weakness. And that we're actually meant to need support, lean on God's support, to lean on other people to help. And so it's really giving me a deeper sense of humility, like, oh, okay, it's okay if I feel sad. It's okay if I feel grief. It's okay if I feel any sort of pain. Like I can still love myself through it. And that's what I want to reflect to you, is that you feeling the way you do is not wrong. It's not wrong. So when you give yourself permission to actually just be with who you are and where you are and whatever you're feeling, that actually will help you feel more whole and stay more present to what it is that's needed here in the present moment, rather than like living this old story from the past or worrying about what's going to happen in the future. So, I just felt really compelled to especially talk about how, for me personally, why I had such a hard time letting go of all of these old stories that were really, painful, is because that became my identity. If I was a victim, then, I could stay in this whole old story of like, I got to prove myself, I'm not enough. And so it gave me a sense of purpose. As strange as that may sound, it gave me a sense of purpose, like, okay, well, even though this is painful, I do feel like I have a purpose. I'll just continue to try to get better. But really, what I've come to, and I'm so grateful that God has come and helped me get to this place, I don't actually have to prove anything. I can be okay with where I am now. And that's really a blessing. And I hope that like my story will help you, because I mean, like I said, growing up, I was like bullied. I had my own like stories about like bullying myself. I remember like feeling really defeated. I mean, there's a lot of things that personally I've had to face. And in my next video, I'm going to be talking about like where all this like comes from, like even in your ancestral line, your family and your ancestral line. So this is deep. So I just trying to encourage you to recognize, not to blame yourself, like, why do I have all these issues? It's not. It's actually all of these things are meant to serve you. And there's a season. If I didn't go through all of the things I went through in my past, which, on the surface may seem really difficult, there's no way I would be the woman I am here today. There's no way, because I wouldn't have the same level of resilience and gratitude, and humility and wisdom and grace, really, because going through all of those things, me being brave and facing all of these things one by one, each thing, just being present and facing these things has helped me become who I am today. And now I can hold space for my clients. I can hold space for the people that need me, because I understand the struggle. I understand what it means to suffer, and so that's my intention in this whole video series, but especially this one, to encourage you. You don't have to suffer. Let's stop the suffering. Okay? Like, us taking a stand and letting go of these old stories, that's actually what we need now. We need to be present now. And I just want to share this, just on a personal note. Over the past 2 weeks, I have had friends who, have been very ill, and like their health is really declining really fast, and so today is actually also my dad's birthday, and he passed almost 6 years ago. And so this, to me, there's no coincidence that I'm being not only inspired to share this to encourage you with your life, but then I'm also being faced with like death, and so that dichotomy, that I can sense, again, goosebumps. I feel like God is wanting me to say that we are here on this earth for a limited time. And everything that I'm going through is to help enrich my life, but also to impact other people. So it's to give more life, right? And as a reminder that we're here on this planet in our physical bodies for only a short period of time. So with this presence of with death, with some of my friends possibly passing very soon, and then again my dad's presence who's already passed, it's like this reminder that how important and precious our presence here is now. What is the legacy? What is the impact you want to make now? That is so important. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like the timing of this is really interesting. Like I said, I planned to talk about this topic, but the fact that I'm doing it on my dad's birthday, and the fact that, again, these friends are not well, and it's just making me more committed to speaking my truth and to sharing, what I need to share without worrying about how I'm being perceived or worrying about how it's going to be received or anything, because I just feel in my heart I'm being led to be used as a channel to share the truth, to help inspire you to be brave and face the thing that you want to run away from. Face the things that make you want to abandon yourself from. Face the things that you are afraid to face, but give yourself love anyway. Give yourself love anyway. I had a healer tell me that recently, feel what you're feeling. Feel any sort of emotion, especially the heavy ones, and tell yourself, I love you anyway. To me, that's freaking game changing, because then it's like, I don't have to run away. I can actually be there and take a stand for myself. And that's what I'm doing here for you, is that whoever, watches this and watches the replay, that this somehow activates something in your soul, helps you remember who you are, and help you recognize and remember why you're here, right? There's a deeper, greater significance on why you're here. And everything that you're going through is really, truly meant to serve you. So if you take a higher view and a more sacred perspective on the significance of your life, that will make you less afraid to step up, to be seen, to use your voice, to speak up, to really just allow yourself to take up space and be seen. Share your voice so you can really reach the people that you're meant to reach. You know, at the end of the day, it's really our ego wants us to be ashamed of our pain. Our ego wants us to retreat in our shell and never come out. Our ego wants that, right? Because then we have a false sense of control, right? Even though I'm going through this painful time, I have a sense of control over my life, even though it's painful. I understand that, and I understand that on such a deep level. But I'm here today, I want to share my testimony that is not where you're meant to stay. You may feel pain, you may feel like you're wanting to control your external situation, but the more that you can be brave and be present to what is wanting to actually be, what is actually coming up in your spirit, the things that want to be healed, that is truly the source of your power. That is how you're going to create that resonance. A lot of people who are introverted, they're like, well, how do I be impactful? How do I stand out? I don't want to change or be more extroverted. How you do that is you create resonance within yourself. But how you do that on a deep, deep level is you have to recognize your strengths, one, but two, you have to face the things that give you the most resistance, because on the other side of those fears is a deep, deep, deep sense of power that nothing on the outside of you can ever take away. So I just wanted to share with you lastly is that whatever you're going through, please be gentle, please be loving, please be encouraging of yourself, because that's what you need. We don't need to bully ourselves, criticize ourselves, shame ourselves. Like, we understand what that is, okay? Let's be real. How we make a mindful change in our life is to face it with honesty, whatever we're going through, and be loving, be kind, be gentle. Being gentle doesn't mean you're being weak. Being gentle means you feel you're creating a safe space within yourself to heal, right? And the more that you do that, that's how you're going to be an impactful leader. It's because you have the grace and the fortitude to hold that sacred space for others. They recognize that you're doing the work because they can feel that deep alignment within you. It goes way beyond your words. People can feel your energy. So just trust that anything that you're going through, especially in this first quarter, I've talked with so many people that are going through their own challenges. Surrender to that. Surrender to whatever you're going through and trust that you will be carried, you are loved by a force greater than yourself. Whether it be God, the universe, life, me. Like there's a reason why I feel really compelled to share this message. And my intention, my hope, my prayer is that you receive it to help remind you that no matter what you're going through, you're bigger than your circumstance. You can overcome anything. So believe that, and I pray that you have the courage to face what it is you're meant to face, and then trust that on the other side of you facing your fears, you are going to receive the grace and the power to help you make not only an impact on your own life, right? But that's going to ripple out, because then people can feel the fact that you are so true to you sharing your truth. And that's why we're here, for us to not hold back and make our impact by really sharing our truth. So I hope this resonates. I hope that this really lands in your spirit, because that's my intention in prayer, is to have sometimes these tough, real talk conversations about the stuff that actually holds us back, and to give ourselves permission to face it, but to face it with a sense of love and like honesty. But the honesty doesn't have to be painful. It's like honest with a sense of like encouragement and love, and like gentle, like sort of love. And that's really what I want to encourage you, is that the pain is painful, right? But facing it, we can actually make that feel a little bit lighter and a little bit more supportive, because now we're no longer in our past and we don't have to project our fears on the future. The more present we are, the more we can stand in our power and actually do what it is we're meant to do. And everything we do in the present moment is having a direct effect on what's going to happen in the future, 100%. So you don't have to figure out everything out. I always say, like, the guidance I've been receiving lately from God is to master the day. Like, just focus on being present and asking, like, what is it I'm meant to do today? Who am I meant to help? And today it was very clear. Get up early and share this video because it's necessary. These lies, the way I titled this is lies can only comfort you for so long. That is the honest to God truth. No matter what you've gone through in your past, it's done. And those old stories are no longer serving you now. So you have a choice. You have a choice to allow the old stories, the lies, to continue to comfort you and give you a sense of false control, a sense of false identity. Or you can be present and then allow yourself to discover in every present moment who you are and who you're becoming. That is how you become your own leader. That is how you become impactful in your own life and in the lives of the people that you need, especially the clients, the people that are waiting for you to show up. There's literally people out there praying for you to show up, praying for you to actually show up and share your truth. And that's what I feel inspired to do today. So again, my intention, my prayer today is that this lands for you, it lands in your heart. It helps remind you of how important your voice is, and to encourage you to be brave and face the thing that you're running away from, especially when you take the time to recharge in your shell. Face that stuff, but know that you can take a stand and be that support system that wasn't there for you in the past. You can give that to yourself now. And doing that step by step, that is going to give you the strength and the fortitude to continue to grow and make the impact that you're meant to make. If this resonates with you, I'd love to connect with you. I'm offering complimentary discovery calls to help you really fully own your voice, really move through these blocks and create clear steps on how to really grow your business and make the impact that you're meant to make as an introverted entrepreneur. If this resonates, you can email me at info@dawningsoul.com, or you can send me a private message. But I hope that this has served you. And tomorrow I'm going to be talking about going even deeper about all of these patterns, these old stories that hold us back. Where does that come from? And why is it really important that we do this, we do the work? So I'll be talking about I'm actually not gonna spoil it, but we're gonna go even deeper tomorrow. So I hope this helps you, and would love to know your biggest takeaways. So in the comments, if you could share, your biggest ahas, what resonates with you most, I'd love to hear that. But the last thing I just want to say is there's no shame in whatever you're feeling. What you're feeling is not wrong, and where you are now that's where your power is, to be able to face it with a sense of grace, and to know that you are loved and supported by a force that is loves you way beyond your own understanding. And that's I can 100% testify to that me letting go and literally letting go and letting God has really helped me to be in a space now where I feel safe to be present in my own life, and to be safe to speak my truth and be unapologetic about speaking my truth, because I know that this is so much bigger than me. This is about me taking a stand, speaking up for other introverted leaders so they can give themselves permission to share their truth and make their impact in their life, but especially in their business. Because we are here on this earth not to only be afraid. Fear is a part of life, but it's our choice to use that fear to overcome us, or use that as fuel to allow us to move forward in our life, right? And so that's why I felt called to show up today and encourage you to keep moving forward, and not allow any sort of fear or resistance to overtake you, to know that you are always bigger than any circumstance that happens in your life. You can overcome anything. It first starts with that belief. Okay, guys, Love y'all so much. So I will chat with you tomorrow. And again, if you'd like to connect, you can email me at info@dawningsoul.com or send me a private message. Would love to know your biggest takeaways, but I truly hope that this talk has served you. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye.